This presentation is prepared for EOA officials. It focuses on an introduction to the first referee. These are the key items to reference in decision-making. First and foremost, if an item is addressed in the NFHS rulebook or case manual, it should be followed. We will not review every responsibility of the R1 in these modules. The rulebook does that in detail. Read and reread the rulebook and casebook. Where the rulebook or casebook leaves gaps, or where we have chosen to adopt a different procedure, we have established guidelines in the EOA Volleyball Handbook. If a situation or mechanic is required that is not defined by the rulebook, the casebook, or the EOA Volleyball Handbook, then defer to your own common sense. Most of the changes in the rulebook this year are not new for us in EOA, but let's look quickly at a few of the comments that pertain to the R1. First, Rule 2.4.1b now reads that players may not gain an advantage in playing the ball by contacting team members or floor obstacles. If a player gains an advantage in playing the ball by contacting a team member or an object, the signal for the fault is signal number 3, illegal hit. The rulebook this year also has updated the mechanic for unnecessary delay. Remember that a first unnecessary delay by a team in a set is awarded a yellow card, which is shown against the wrist. The signal in the book now shows a side-specific mechanic. In the picture on the slide, the referee would be awarding an unnecessary delay to the team on the left of the net, or the referee's right. The primary role of the official is to ensure that the actions of the players, coaches, and other team personnel are in compliance with the rules. In fulfilling this task, the official must establish the best possible climate for fair competition with the attention on the athletes rather than on the official. The conduct of each official affects the public's attitude toward all officials. Therefore, every official must uphold the honor, integrity, and dignity of the profession. It is imperative that each official displays impartiality at every contest. The volleyball community is small and tight-knit. It is likely that over the course of a season, you will see participants, coaches, or parents whom you know personally. It is appropriate to greet people with a smile, but avoid being overly friendly while serving as an official before, during, or after a match. It is also likely that you will see the same team or coach more than once during a season. Remember to maintain a sense of cordiality, politeness, and impartiality, even if you had a bad experience with that person before. Of course, you'll want to stay impartial throughout the match. As R1, remain on the stand unless an unplanned interruption requires your attention. Give your partner the space to do their job at the table, and only come off the stand if you are asked to assist your partner. As a volleyball official, you will have to make decisions and enforce the rules without being overbearing. You are there to facilitate the match and ensure that the match is played fairly. There will be calls you have to make, but just as importantly, there are calls you will not have to make. When you choose well, you earn the respect of players, coaches, peers, and fans. While you must not duck the responsibility of making tough calls, do not think that your role is to hunt down calls to make. When you see a call that needs to be made, blow your whistle and apply the rules that fit that situation. In any sport, officials are a visible group of people who strive to be invisible. Volleyball is no exception. At the end of the match, we want the participants and spectators to remember the play, not us. A few reminders and points of emphasis for the season. Contact your partner. It doesn't matter who is assigned as R1 or R2. Just contact your partner on time, within about 48 hours prior to the match. When you make contact, whether via phone, email, or in person, be sure to establish the date, time, and location of the match. Print a roster or keep your partner's contact number in your phone. You can find a roster of all officials in Arbiter under the Lists section. You never know when you or your partner might be running late and you need to get a hold of them. Make sure to go through the proper introductions when you arrive at a site. Find whomever will be serving as the host administration, be it the athletic director, principal, or other school personnel. Help promote EOA by thanking them for having us officiate their match. Our association is responsible for the safety of the players. If a piece of safety equipment is missing and no reasonable substitute is offered, do not play the match. Watch for your own safety too. Check the referee stand during warm-ups and get any issues resolved before getting on the stand. If a continuous center line is missing, ask the host administration to fix it. If they adamantly refuse to put tape down, then do the best you can without a continuous center line, but play the match and notify the commissioner. During your partner briefing, be thorough, especially if you're working with a newer official. There are a few items that should always be covered in a brief. Discrete signals that you would expect to see as the R1, such as back row assistance, ball handling help if the R1 is screened, and a terminating fourth contact. And large signals you would expect to see at the end of a play, such as the ball down on a close pancake play or a touch off of a block. Unusual situations, such as scoring issues. How will the R1 know if the R2 needs help? Tell your R2 how they will know if you need help on a play. And sanction procedures. The R1 should talk to the R2 about how the R2 will indicate that a player or coach needs a sanction and what type of sanction. Take a moment to look at the picture. Refer to Rule 2 and Rule 3 in the rulebook and casebook. What things would need to be addressed with host administration? What things would you talk to your partner about? Pause the video here to examine the picture. When you press play, a few items will be revealed to you, although you may have found more things to consider. Did you notice? There are no pads on the standards. This is an important safety concern. If the host cannot provide appropriate padding, do not play the match. Immediately notify the commissioner. There are no antennas. If a host cannot provide antennas, play the match using the best judgment you can. Notify the commissioner at the end of the match. There is no R1 stand. If a suitable stand is not provided, referee from the floor. Do not referee from a box or a chair or anything unstable or unsafe. This is a hazard to both you and the players. There is no continuous center line. Again, if the host refuses to make the center line continuous, play the match using your best judgment and notify the commissioner at the conclusion of the match. There is a vertical backboard. The school is not required to raise the backboard, although you might consider asking if they can. If they cannot raise the backboard, then refer to Rules 2.3h, 2.3i, and 2.4d. The ball may not be played off of a vertical backboard or its supports. The referee must stop play and either call the ball out or award a replay. There is a movable curtain on the far wall. Curtains are considered walls, and a ball that contacts a curtain should be whistled as a dead ball. This concludes the first lesson about the first referee. Please mark this lesson complete and continue to the next lesson, Mechanics and Whistle. Thank you.